The desert wind howled through the dunes, carrying with it whispers of ancient stories and secrets long buried in the sand. In the village of Al Kamil, where the sun beat relentlessly upon the earth, the villagers lived by the old ways, the ways of honor, tradition, and duty. But amidst these unyielding customs, a love had begun to bloom, a love that threatened to unravel everything. Layla, daughter of Sultan Malik, was known throughout the land for her beauty and intelligence. Her father's word was law, and her destiny was to marry a man of great power and wealth, someone who would strengthen the family's influence and ensure their future. But Layla had never cared for power or wealth. She dreamed of something else, freedom, and her heart had found a kindred spirit in Zaid. Zaid was a man of humble beginnings, the son of a respected blacksmith in the village. Though he lacked the status that her father demanded in a suitor, he had something more precious, a heart full of courage and love. From the first moment their eyes met, it was clear that their bond went beyond the surface. Layla and Zaid's love was a forbidden one, but their connection was undeniable. In secret, they met in a vast, empty desert beneath the ancient acacia trees, their only witnesses the stars that twinkled above them. It was in these quiet moments that they could speak freely, away from the watchful eyes of the world. They talked about their dreams, about a life together in a place where they could be free from the chains of tradition. But such love could not go unnoticed. Sultan Malik, a man bound to the old ways, had already arranged for Layla to marry Rashid, a wealthy nobleman with influence that could secure their family's future. The marriage was not one of love, but of power, a transaction that would bind their fates forever. Layla, though obedient in many ways, refused to accept this fate. She had made her choice, and it was Zaid. The news of Layla's defiance spread like wildfire, and soon the village was divided. On one side stood her father, determined to uphold the family's honor and the traditions that had kept them strong for generations. On the other stood Zaid, whose love for Layla burned brighter than any threat her father could offer. But there was another force at play, a force that neither of them had expected. Amina, Layla's closest friend, had always harbored feelings for Zaid. Though she had never spoken them aloud, the jealousy that now consumed her was like a shadow that followed her every move. In the quiet of the night, Amina whispered secrets into Sultan Malik's ear, fanning the flames of distrust and jealousy. She promised him that if he allowed the marriage to go forward, she would ensure that Zaid would never threaten Layla again. Meanwhile, Zaid's brother Ibrahim, ever the voice of reason, tried to convince Zaid to let go of his impossible dreams. The family's future was uncertain, and Ibrahim believed that love, while noble, could not feed their stomachs or protect them from the harshness of life in the desert. Ibrahim's pragmatism only drove Zaid further into Layla's arms, and the conflict between duty and desire grew deeper. As the day of the arranged marriage drew near, Layla and Zaid stood at a crossroads. Layla, torn between her love for Zaid and her loyalty to her father, knew that choosing one meant losing the other. Zaid, too, was faced with the ultimate choice: to defy his family and risk everything for the woman he loved, or to walk away from the only chance at happiness he had ever known. The night before the wedding, they met one last time in the desert. The moon hung low in the sky, casting a pale light across the endless sands. With tears in her eyes, Layla whispered the words Zaid had longed to hear. No matter where I go, I will always love you. But the world they lived in was unforgiving, and the morning brought only sorrow. Sultan Malik's forces, having been tipped off by Amina, captured Zaid, forcing him into exile. Layla, her heart breaking, was left to fulfill the role her father had chosen for her. And so the desert carried their stories, their dreams, and their broken hearts in the whispers of the wind. Though Layla and Zaid were separated, their love endured in the silence between the dunes. A love that, though lost to the world, would never truly fade. The desert kept their secret, just as it had kept the secrets of so many others. In the end, tears of the desert were not only the tears of a lost love, but of a people bound by tradition and torn by the ever present battle between love and duty. Their love had not conquered all, but it had left its mark, forever etched into the sands of time.